Okay, well, let's see. So, first match, we have Avoid, which is nice. Also, Mission. And we have no fours or threes, really.
Yeah, that's interesting. It looks like the payload here is probably going to be the Blessed Village or the Wealthy Village loots. So
Yeah, definitely.
I imagine it's going to be fairly easy to get going because of investment. So you might not even need to pick up that gold.
True. I think picking up the gold is probably just a bit too long winded anyway.
Mhm. Right? Because with investment, if you need to, if you got 4 coppers investment, then you could just not trash a copper. Or I guess you'd have to have the silver in hand, but it is a little bit flexible with hitting 5 once you're trashed down.
Okay, so I think something we missed was Abesyo started with 5-2, which is interesting. They went with Magnante instead of Wild Hunt, because I like Malraf's idea of doing Wild Hunt instead of Magnante, just because Magnante is kind of bad. Um, and Wild Hunt is not as bad. But in general, I like this idea of getting 7, I would say.
I really like Maharath's idea here because
Yeah.
if you put 3 estates in your discard, Wild Hunt will put a forge into your shuffle. So I mean, Abasho draws it off the top, which is always helpful, but that is more of a guaranteed setup for your forge, and I think you're off to a great start if you can get that set up.
Oh, yeah, 100% agreed. And yeah, I think just getting the forge here already just puts Abasayo in a fantastic position. They have forge, they have investment. I think all they really need is silver, and then they're off to the races. Meanwhile, willpower is in a bit of a more dire position, I guess.
Should be able to hit 7. They already have it in hand, but
Oh
once
yeah,
again, there's this awkward positioning of the shuffle. So this hunter's gonna make the forge miss the shuffle unless you don't play it, but then you have 2 junk on top. So I guess if you draw a 9, you could avoid, but this hunter could only pick up 1 copper.
well,
So
the lucky thing is, I believe willpower only has 2 cards in discard and 2 cards on top. So if they play the hunter, it'll only be 1 card on top. So it's a
oh sure.
tiny little shuffle that probably won't end up mattering. Is I feel like how it's gonna go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Avasayo I think was more lucky because they created a shuffle with all estates and then a big shuffle after that.
Right. Now with this forge, it could be even if willpower can find it off the
Yes,
top. Because willpower, who has the investment? Abasho
Avasayo.
does.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the thing about the Forge is that Willpower has some very good possibilities with the Forge because, like, if they see Hunter first, or maybe they can research an estate and then see the Forge on that next hand, they could get rid of a lot of coppers.
Mhm. Right. If you can set up the research forge, that would certainly be helpful. I wonder. Okay, so interesting. Willpower is going for the wealthy village route, I believe.
I don't like that, but I do think it's going to work out for them with this draw.
I much like if we're doing this route, I like double avoid investment that Mr. Guy's suggesting,
Did
just because that gets you a clean shuffle again,
yeah,
potentially, or you're going to be able to play that research, and you do still get that wealthy village, but now you have 1 more card trashed, and you can keep control of your deck a little bit more. So I don't know if this is in retaliation to perhaps Abisho getting so thin, maybe Willpower thinks I have to diverge a little bit, get the Wealthy Village early. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
So, a couple of things that just happened that I kind of need to point out. First of all, when Willpower bought the Wealthy Village, they played 7, but they didn't buy an extra Void. So, I'm not sure why they, missed out on the Avoid there. Because I feel like that just seems pretty bad.
They weren't going into the shuffle, right?
No, I think it was going into the shuffle. Was it not? Yeah, because afterwards it says shuffles their deck after they bought that Wealthy Village.
Ah, I see.
So I feel like that was a misplay. While Abesyo has trashed their Forge in order to hit Wealthy Village a turn ago. Which is interesting, because they still have a lot of coppers left to trash. But also, they did have all, 3 treasures there in hand, so it's an interesting position whether you trash the Forge or not, and I could see arguments either way, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of wanted around, but was that necessary in order to hit the 5?
It was necessary, because it was 2 coppers, investment, silver, and Forge. And the only way to hit 5 would be to trash the Forge.
It's close. I mean, the Forge isn't doing a whole lot for you, and you can get thin with the investment, I suppose. Yeah. But I don't think you need to be desperately going after the Wealthy Villages. I think you could maybe wait one more turn, but I think it'll work out fine for Abesyo.
Yeah, I agree with that. Another thing that I wonder is maybe Magnante will be better here with a Void around. But, again, maybe that's copium.
Well, the funny thing about that is when you're doing your Avoid, you're putting your treasure into your discard, right?
Yes.
Once you trash your estate, so it doesn't seem like a great synergy to me.
But yeah. I was just thinking about getting the estates out, but yeah, I wasn't sure if they did 2 intentionally, but it does seem like they are just doing 2 cards consistently, which seems not very good.
This one's starting to look over already. Abesyo.
Yeah.
2 loots already, getting a 3rd one into the deck, I'm sure, here. Way more trashed. Looks like they're in a pretty good spot. Could even throw 2 more in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can get 2, loots here, and that's probably game.
Is it looking better to add more loot or go for the outpost right now, try and get that going?
I would say 1 loot, 1 outpost seems good. I definitely think you'd rather just play this and get a 5, because the 5s here are very good. The one negative of Outpost is Abesyo has no good draw cards for an Outpost turn.
Yeah, double loot seems a bit ambitious, especially since you're not trashing with investment.
Yeah. I think the one interesting thing here is that Magnante very much, pushes more towards Wealthy Village, I would say. Just because extra loot means more draw power. But I think this is fine.
Yeah, I think Abesyo's ahead enough where probably won't matter too much, but at the same time, you don't want to open up lanes for a comeback. So I think you want to get the draw going right now. He has a lot of payload, it seems like now, so keeping that deck consistent. Otherwise, you could dud, who knows. I think I want to get the Mastermind stuff going, probably pick one up now, and try and make your deck really consistent with drawing. Like probably a pair of Masterminds. That'll make your Outpost turn pretty reliable paired with a Void, so I think that they're going to start popping off here pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think it's tricky to know what to do here, because Mastermind sounds good, but it also kind of sounds a bit slow in a way. the other thing I think here is that if you get all of the wealthy villages, you basically get all of the good money. And then the other opponent is kind of like stuck with buying golds or just, having no money. And neither of those seem that desirable to me. Especially since you want the wealthy village part too, anyway, because I believe it is the only village here, so.
I think the reason I like Mastermind so much is because of Outpost. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you don't really have much of a guarantee on that turn. It's just the order is not that clear to me.
Yeah.
I could see one more Wealthy Village, Magnate, Mastermind, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're all, I think, fine. I feel like my disposition would be more likely to hammer home the wealthy villages and draw cards, just because I'm thinking, like, if you corner the wealthy villages in this game, you're gonna win.
Yeah, what is the way around that? I mean, you could do some mission stuff. Like, if you get multiple forges, you could mission, do forge stuff. You could necro your loots if you get lucky, but I don't really know. That seems just really slow, and
Yeah.
like you can only do that for so long.
Yeah, like, being the only village and the best way to get money, it just seems wealthy village feels very centralizing to me. And so that's why I'm like, I kind of want to get those as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, if you can get 2 turns per turn, like, definitely I feel like getting an outpost out at some point seems good to me. Probably more so than, like, the Mastermind, because I feel like even if even if your outpost turn's kind of weak, it still can work out itself in a way, but yeah.
Like, Willpower is still not doing very much on their turns. I guess the deliberation here is whether to trash a gold, probably. I think you probably want to hang on to your loot, but if you do that, 4 is a pretty sad number to be hitting, and you're just not doing anything. Oh my.
I don't... I think trashing the gold is right, but then following it up with mission, I feel like is just...
counterproductive.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the intent of that is, because most that can be done here is just mass avoid, and then I don't know.
You can also get some Wild Hunt VP. Do you
Right.
want that? Probably not, but you can do it.
If you have a forge, then it's not so bad, but there is no forge or investment or anything. So.
Yeah.
So this one's looking pretty locked up.
Definitely.
Here we go. Massive void. So yeah, for Willpower trying to come back in this one, I mean, obviously, you're gonna have a clean shuffle here. Gotta add a forge, I think, get clean fast, and try and figure out some way to get the forge going on something. There's like, Abesyo is probably gonna snatch up a few more loots, dominantly gonna win that. Already has a lot more draw, a lot more payload.
Yeah, I mean, my thought is that Willpower kind of just needs to grab as many wealthy villages as possible, because I do not think they'll be there, after next turn, so...
Here we go. Draw on the deck again.
This figurehead has been very nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. Drawn into some wealthy villages, save the turn.
Yeah.
So here we've got 5, 11, 14, and I guess just keep picking up loots.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would definitely want an outpost now.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably, now that you've gotten one Mastermind, you probably want another, but you also want a bunch of wealthy villages too, so... ordering of that, I don't know, but I feel like Outpost is probably the most important, followed by the Wealthy Villages, is my take on it.
Yeah, they're very skinny now, as far as the deck is concerned. Plus, you got this Mastermind coming in. So, I mean, if you care about duration balance, then you pick up Mastermind Outpost
Yeah.
and a silver or something like that. But I think there's really no way of missing here. So,
Yeah, I think the problem is like I do like the having duration balance, but I also just feel like Wealthy Village might be a bit more important than Mastermind at this point. But I'm also just fine with like having a you miss one turn on the outpost turn, that's fine.
Outpost Investment Copper is an interesting idea. I mean, your investments are going to score a lot, which is something to keep in mind. I don't think the avoid is necessary with Mastermind coming in, but I suppose better safe than sorry. I mean, one thing you could have done there, or I guess the reason not picking up a Mastermind's fine, because if you're thinking a few turns in ahead, play your Mastermind, you're drawing your deck this turn. You can play the Outpost, and then however that turn goes, you'll then have the Mastermind again, and you can play it and then buy one next turn and probably be okay.
Yeah.
But either way, there's probably multiple ways of playing that pretty safely.
Yeah, definitely.
Abesyo might be in a position to take the Wild Hunt points next turn.
Not being in a position. Yeah, you mean this next turn that they'll have, or the turn after that?
This upcoming turn,
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're going to draw. You've got Mastermind coming in, so you'll easily draw. You can pick up the estate, trash it to investment. Just shut that down as an alt VP
Yeah.
option.
Pretty much. I think you can just play. Oh yeah, you can just also do this and then grab the estate.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay, and there's the resignation.
That did it. The estate was the nail in the coffin. Can't come back from that. Well, that's a solid start from Abesyo as second player.
Absolutely.
Always good to get that win.
So this looks like another highly powered board.
I would say so.
Willpower
Pretty fast.
has an unfortunate 5-2 here. I mean, you could probably still just go Cathedral and Lackeys. I might be tempted to buy like a Cutthroat with the 5 just because I like buying 5s too much. But
yeah, I get that temptation completely. I think Grove would be a better 5 than Cutthroat, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What you can buy in the early game, but it's awfully hard to pass on Cathedral because this board's going to go quick with probably a bridge rush, maybe pick up. You might have time to pick up a gold for your encampments, but Ironmonger Lackeys should be just fine for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, Willpower opts for the Cathedral. And so Abesyo with the 4-3 then opts to do the same route, so
yeah,
not too much divergence there.
I will say the one
But
problem.
Expect a bridge.
I will say the one problem with Sacred Grove is that it is just kind of a worse bridge here.
Yeah, pretty much. Sacred Grove boons always help the opponent more than you. It's just a fact of life. And always so frustrating.
Yeah.
So I anticipate maybe something like Ironmonger Lackeys, just trying to maybe get that potential village in there. Make sure you have enough villagers to keep playing your stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I would probably do.
Ironmonger Lackeys make sense. I also kind of like Bridge Lackeys just because I think Bridge goes so hard here.
Yeah, I could see either one. So Willpower looks to be a turn behind at this point.
Yes.
Which makes sense. Not a great shuffle here, but also being second player. Can't even pick up an Ironmonger or a... Oh no.
Sacred... I don't
Here we go.
understand why we are getting a Sacred Grove, but that is that is a choice being made.
Well, now the game looks a little bit closer. I mean, Sacred Grove isn't game losing by any stretch. In the early game, it's a little bit more money than Bridge because, in effect, Bridge is kind of like 2 money, but
Yeah, but
in the late game.
the thing about Bridge is that even in the early game, I'm kind of wanting to just be hammering these cheap piles anyway, and Bridge can
Right.
turn stuff like lackeys into and encampments into zero cost cards, and it's kind of hard to beat that.
Yeah. I mean, I would have taken even a gold over Sacred Grove just to start hammering the encampments. Like, see, if this
Yeah.
was a gold, well, I guess you wouldn't have the encampment, but at the same time, if you're gonna buy something expensive, why not solidify your draw with encampment gold stuff? Because you're gonna be
For
thin with
sure.
Cathedral, you'll probably find it. Yeah, it works out.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Here we go. It's a nice boon for both.
It is. Like, I don't know. Personally, I'm just wanting a bunch of bridges here so I can buy a bunch of lackeys and encampments, and then honestly trash the lackeys to Cathedral.
Right, exactly. And even like, if the opponent doesn't have a gold, you can use the encampments kind of as rentals, trade them back and forth a bit
Yeah.
if necessary. But I mean, yeah, here he picks one up.
Yeah, here I feel like gold encampment would be quite strong. Lackeys is
Yeah,
fine.
I like the idea behind lackeys just because it prevents a potential dud. Just gives you
Yeah.
those few villagers of insurance. Makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely get it.
I think you have to respond with a gold and just hold on to your encampments. I'd expect 2 encampments here probably from Willpower.
Yeah, that
Just
seems very logical to me.
I mean, encampment's just such a strong card. Okay, lackeys again. That seems much
Yeah,
worse.
that one, I feel like they already had enough villagers. They did not need to get another lackeys. Like, just getting 2 encampments and then winning the encampment splits feels a lot better to me.
Right. Like the reason I was fine with Abisho doing it is because those villagers were necessary to potentially preserve the turn, but Willpower's already got 4 villagers.
Yeah.
Encampment's going to be a way better card long term. Plus, you deny them
Oh, yeah, no,
um,
100% agree.
from Abisho. Oh, a crypt. When was that bought?
It was about a couple of turns ago. They had Conclave and, like, 3 copper.
Interesting.
We can
I mean,
get
it's
a...
fine.
I don't hate Crypt. The one big benefit of Crypt here is that you see these, like, with these encampments, you can just get that gold, right into your starting hand, and it's like, oh well, these encampments won't miss.
Right. It's that it guarantees that for this turn, and then for the next few turns, if you don't have a copper, you can pull it out of the crypt and trash to the cathedral, which makes sense to me.
That too.
It's just it seems a little bit slower than the other stuff going on, but I do see it, and it seems like it has a few nice synergies, so I'm not entirely opposed to it.
Yeah, I think the problem was like there wasn't really much else they could buy in that hand, and it was like it made enough sense to me. I feel like
So as willpower, I'm probably trying to rush the bridges and trying to win the bridge split.
winning the bridge split seems good.
That's going to be your ultimate payload. I guess you could pile here. I mean, there's only one Ironmonger gone, which I find very surprising.
I
But
find it kind of surprising, but not that much, just because I just feel like there's so many good cards on here that you kind of need to prioritize, and so Ironmonger being this like general good card just kind of falls by the wayside because like you need these bridges and then you need the encampments and you need the lackeys and then you know
we're buying a crypt here. I mean, the crypt isn't exactly necessary. Oh, a cutthroat. See, this is what I'm talking about.
the cutthroat. I don't agree with that here. That feels very extra for something that you really don't need. But I'm just saying, like, when I'm thinking of, like, Bridge versus Ironmonger, I'm wanting Bridge more so than Ironmonger. yeah, Cutthroat and Bridge have an anti-synergy, which is also what makes it seem worse, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing the intention is purely to attack. I mean, you could score a loot off of it, but you have to buy a gold with only one bridge in play. That's not going to happen very often. I mean, of course, Cutthroat with Cathedral can be nasty. So I do understand that, but yeah, what Matharath is
Yeah.
saying is you keep playing it. So I don't know if you keep gaining one every turn, because that just makes it really hard for your opponent to do anything.
Yeah.
But you either have to get it back with gold here. Okay, I guess that's the plan. Yeah, I could see this working out.
This also feels like a lot of gold buys instead of other cards you could be buying. But it does look like the attack was quite effective, so maybe it will work out.
Yeah, I think I overlooked the attack.
Yeah,
Or
I
how
did
much
too.
it hurts.
I do think it's like a bit of a like risk, I guess. Like hard to say how much it, will hard to say how much it'll do because like for example, this hand I don't think it does that much, but I think the last hand they had a lot of good cards in their hand and kind of sacrificed had to like ditch a bunch of them.
Oh, and Willpower also sacrificed an encampment last turn, which is very
Yeah.
bad. And now this Cutthroat can't activate, so I guess if you want to keep the attack going, you expand the lackeys to Cutthroat, draw back around to it. Probably works out fine.
Yeah.
And that way you can really cripple Willpower for the majority of the game.
Yeah. Like it is strong. It is tricky though because like it also does take a lot of resources, but it might just be the thing to do.
Yeah, once again, I feel like Abesyo's in another position to be just far enough ahead where a few different avenues could work, but
Yeah.
this seems to be working out quite well. Yeah, of course, snag that last encampment. And I would expect an iron... Okay, province, sure. Just a few more villages would probably be good for this deck.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Some potential draw with Ironmonger. I'd probably take 2 here. Bridge Ironmonger's also fine.
That seems fine to me. I think also like Abesyo can start looking into like pile out potential because piles are getting low.
And this is a huge turn.
Yeah.
You can gain and play something.
My thought is probably want to if you gain and play bridge, can you win here?
Well, I guess we're not doing that, but it would have been a buy short, I think. 7 buys, needing to get bridge, Lackey's Plunder, so probably win next turn.
Probably. That makes sense.
I don't think there's anything Willpower can do. There's no way they can score enough.
Yeah.
Just take a couple provinces, take the lackeys, Ironmonger, or bridge, and easily have it next turn.
Yeah, I feel like, just taking the lackeys, some bridges, some provinces, and I mean, this is also just fine.
Right, you can just win on provinces easily.
Yeah.
And there goes another encampment.
I mean, at this point, you kind of just have to do it and then hope. But
Willpower needs 6, 12, 18, so 3 provinces plus 4 duchies to tie. How much is this? So we've got 5 bridges.
If they still have their gold.
Wow, is this a tie?
This might be a tie.
This is 7 games. This is
you can also get
3 provinces, 4 duchies. Oh man.
Wow. I did not expect that.
Oof. That is a rough one to tie is Abisho, but nice find by Willpower.
Oh,
Just use
yeah.
all the villagers every game. Man, just no reason to lower that much. But I guess, yeah, I mean, the pile out wouldn't have scored enough, so if you leave one less province, well,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
if
I
you
think they had 8.
I think if you leave one less province, then they could not have emptied out provinces at least.
Right, and there's probably no other way of winning there. But wow, I didn't realize that there were that many bridges, but that's what I was saying is
Yeah.
the only way in is just find all those bridges, try and win that split, and wow, ain't.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get that position as Abasire because like you're looking at how much you can do and how much they've done the last couple of turns, and you're like, they're not going to be doing anything. Let's just take all these provinces and what can they do? And then they pull out the tie, and you're just like, oh well, I guess that.
Okay, this is an interesting one. We've got that island folk importer thing going on. And
Yeah.
this has been tricky. Something that I've been trying to figure out is when do you pop the favors for the island folk? Because I see almost every player do it in the opening. Like right after turn 1, go turn 1, turn 2 with the island folk and just go from there.
See, yeah, I think I definitely see that. That said, here I am tempted to do it later, but then again, I guess you might not be able to get that many bridge trolls out. So I was just thinking, is like, I think if you could get a lot more bridge trolls out, I'd be tempted to do it later, so that you could stack a heavy bridge troll turn 2 in a row and hopefully try to get a pile out like that. But this is a single play board, so or like there's no villages here, so
Right.
you might just do it instantly. Is this a familiar board? That is a question I have.
I'd be inclined to say yes.
Yeah.
Upgrade trashing is pretty slow, and they're going to be annoying to deal with. I would go Courtyard Potion seems reasonable. Yeah, the bargain stuff is interesting. Deciding whether or not you want to put a horse in that shuffle. See, here we go. Now Abisho has a horse and can accelerate a little bit faster. Because if they
Yeah.
bargain, now they bargain for the upgrade. Horse is in Willpower's discard. So now Abisho gets a little bit of an edge. That's always interesting too. Good point, Mr. Guy.
Yeah.
I,
Definitely.
one of the reasons, when Island Folk Importer was first a thing in the new expansion, I'd always delayed. It would come up on ladder. I would delay it, see how that went, and usually it worked out fine. But there were these really high-powered boards with a lot of buys and gains, and I could just pile out in 2 turns. But I kind of had a rude awakening in the Dominion Online Championship this year. In the first round, I got shocked by them just going boom boom and getting the attacks, getting old witches on me, and then I lost that game. So I started thinking, what is the way of doing this? And it seems like in these single game boards, doing it earlier is better, so you can get that attack going first, and when the
Yeah.
extra turn isn't going to do you that much good.
Yeah. Makes sense. Looks like they're both using familiar here, so
Hmm.
it looks like they'll be getting a lot of curses.
Like Willpower's off to a nice start. These wishing wells make sense. You just want to get through this deck as quickly as possible,
Yeah.
and Silver's not doing that much for you. Let's see. Up 2 cards. Probably copper. There we go. Wishing for a horse. Yeah, they were both
Why?
copper.
Why were they wishing for a horse?
No idea.
I don't like
Some people just want horses.
because I was wondering if there's like any shuffle stuff there, but then they triggered the shuffle anyway, so I am confused to say the least.
This wishing is insane. From Willpower.
Ah, yeah.
Probably add another upgrade.
Yeah, I would add another upgrade here.
This just looks like you want to hit hard on the upgrades, all your estates to wishing wells. Oh, bridge troll is interesting. But then you can trash your upgrades to golds and then move on to big money. Well, I'm guessing Abesyo is going to struggle quite a bit to get clean enough to compete with that.
Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
That's a reasonable resign, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and now we're 1.5 to 1.5. So
Yeah?
power surging a little bit.
Yeah. So here we got Sea Witch, which is incredibly strong. And Captain, which, you know... Captain actually, like... Are we going to empty both Trail and Underling? Because I'm going to guess the answer is no. And... Also, oh, you know, there's Barge here for buys. I like starting off with Underling. Gondola makes sense. I feel like here I'm looking into Sea Witch and Captain. And...
Yeah, I really like the underlings here with the Coastal Haven.
Yeah.
Without any thinning. Those are going to be a big deal. Kind of like a poor man's biding time, I guess. You just set those estates aside every turn. No hand size attacks unless someone rolls poverty from Tormentor, but
yeah. Also, Triumphant Arch too, so we might just be seeing a bunch of underlings being bought.
right. I wonder if that means Vineyard it's to be relevant.
I definitely think Vineyard's going to be relevant here, I feel like. Because...
Yeah, what's the payload looking like here?
Sad. The payload is pretending that payload exists. Honestly, I feel like it's basically the payload is coppers. It is play a bunch of action cards, try to buy what you can, play King's Court on things, and then don't really do much with any money that's not potion.
The payload is farmland trashing Trail into gold. Or I want to see that happen. I wonder if Trail will be gained though. I mean, you can do some farmland stuff. I don't even know if it's good though. This just is so ugly. I'm not even sure where to go with it.
Like, I feel like that situation to me both has one more gold, farmland, and Trail than I want to have here. Oh, I guess Trail works with Sea Witch, so yeah, maybe the Trail is fine, but I don't really want to farm land or gold here.
I don't think Captain's ever worth it. I mean, you can get that village effect with the Sea Witch Trail, and you can gondola if necessary for a while, but Barge is going to be so much better. King's Court, Underling is going to get your deck more reliable, so I don't know if I even touch Captain. Just so sad, because Underlings are probably going to pile.
Yeah, I like Captain, because I do think getting it on both turns seems nice, but that might just be like a thing of like riches that I'm doing. But I don't know, if you have like 6 like here, I'd be tempted to do a Captain.
I mean, it's not obviously Captain's a nice card. It's just it's only going to be able to play Trail for the majority of the game. But I guess that village is nice. I feel like Barge is probably doing more for you. King's Court Tormentor. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like just other cards, like, you probably get a Tormentor at some point, but I feel like there are just other cards you want to King's Court.
I mean,
is my thought.
If we're not King's Courting Tormentor, then aren't we just spinning?
You're not spinning because you're getting Triumphant Arch points.
What are we buying that Triumphal Arch point with?
I mean, yes,
What are we?
I mean, you'll have at least like they have 9 money there. Like, yeah, you probably add a Tormentor at some point, and that's fine. It's just like I think the thing is I first kind of want to get my other things in the deck first, then add a Tormentor for payload if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think it's urgent, but it does. It looks more attractive down the road once you have the barge stuff going. I'm
Yeah.
farmland to okay. That was an interesting play.
This feels like a lot of work for a card that could have just been held in hand with Coastal Haven.
And I suppose if you're deck tracking, you would know you have Trail, which is likely going to give you that village effect too. And if not, you're still fine.
Yeah.
So I played both of them on the same turn.
I also think like I do want a barge soon for what it is worth. I think I probably want to after like in Abesyo's position. I definitely want a barge because you already have the King's Court, so you already have your plus actions. I just think it's like kind of like get plus actions, then get a barge to play with your Sea Witches, and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So like I like barge from Abesyo here.
Right, and you're pretty likely to find it given that the Sea Witch is discarding 3 different times.
Yeah.
The only problem is your King's Court is out, so you can't play both a barge and a Sea Witch unless you buy Gondola here on this upcoming turn.
Yeah. But that said, that might be fine. We'll see, but I think adding a barge here is fine because even if you don't have villages for the next turn, you'll be able to have King's Court as a village for the turns after that, and so it's fine. Is my thought.
Abisham might have been dazzled by the play of willpower here, of the farmland power.
Yeah, that said, like if they get a trail, I think that's fine. I cannot. Getting a gondola to play this underling feels pointless.
Yeah, we'll see. I think a trail would be nice at this point too.
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
since you're fairly likely to find it with this Sea Witch coming in and discarding. The only thing is then you don't really have a terminal to play it with, but at least you have some kind of potential village if you can add a barge.
Yeah. I mean, Gondola is like fine. It's just I feel like there's just more impactful cards to be gaining here, such as Barge, which could increase the amount of gains that you can get on this board in Abesyo's position.
And the build is just not very clear to me. I'm not sure the order of things. It's really messy with Sea Witch, of course.
Yeah. So getting a King's Court as willpower seems good.
Right. Just somewhat sad at this point. This is not a good shuffle.
Yeah, that's pretty bad shuffle. They could discard Trail here. Okay, well they do now. That's good.
Sea Witch. Which is rather unfortunate.
Yeah, missing the Sea Witch is unideal to say the least. They could get another King's Court here or a Barge. I like both of those.
Yeah. King's Court, generally a nice card, especially if you find it with an underling off the top like that.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yeah, so now it feels like they can probably have a decent turn.
Now, game state, Abesyo now having 2 King's Courts, willpower with 1, no barges. Willpower does have an extra trail. So it fairly even in that sense, but Abesyo now looking a lot more reliable. So
Kinging the Sea Witch makes sense. I feel like I'd probably just want to play to see if I can do more afterwards. And I think this is fine because you can Coastal Haven all of this garbage. So there's the Barge.
I think that's a nice time for it.
Agreed.
But so now in this upcoming 7 cards, you're going to be able to discard a trail, play your Sea Witch, but you might not have enough favors to deal with all this stuff. But at least the shuffle you're going into isn't too bad.
Yeah. That said, I do feel like this is probably over. I don't know what the split on all the curses are, but it does feel like Abesyo's deck is just a lot better right now.
Yeah, now we've got some reliability coming in.
Yeah.
King Sea Witch plus Barge. It's looking pretty solid. Now, Abesyo can think about starting to add some payload. Once you get the King going on, you can
Yeah.
king the underlings, set aside all the junk, and be looking pretty solid. So I think they have a clear lead here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So what's the curse split?
I think the curse split is Willpower has 6, Abesyo has 4. Another barge makes sense to me. Like, I think another barge here, and then start adding, like, more KCs and the Tormentor after that, probably.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I can benefit from the... Oh, no.
I do not like the gold.
No, not the gold. Can't king score to gold.
You cannot King's Quarter gold.
That's sad. Because, I mean, if you take a barge there, you're looking a lot more reliable.
Oh, for
You can
sure.
next turn a barge here. I mean, you might have to just king another Sea Witch if you want to have a reliable turn, but that's preventing you from King's Courting a King's Court, which is definitely what you want to start doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It will be at least be a good turn here.
Yeah, but like, just imagine how much better this turn could be if you could just start it off with a barge for next turn, considering you're basically seeing all of your good cards here.
Right.
Actually, this King's Court is actually a bit awkward. Well,
Will be fine.
well, the thing is, you do not want to trigger the shuffle. Is the problem here?
You just king an underling, play an underling, and then stop.
Yeah, that seems reasonable to me. Although they have well, they can keep the Sea Witch for next turn, but yeah, you probably
Well, how
want.
much? Okay.
I feel like you just keep those cards. It's all like you're doing this. You're triggering this shuffle to get 2 coppers. I mean, I guess.
Well, I think it's the right play because essentially it's either trigger a shuffle with just 5 cards, no Sea Witch coming in, or you have a few junk cards off the top and
Yeah.
a Sea Witch discard coming in. You can also set aside the trail here, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice, or it's a good move given the situation, but not ideal by any stretch.
I feel like I've just been tempted to save the 3 like good cards in your hand and like start off the next turn with some like cards that you can play. Basically, is my thought.
Right. I guess the only problem with that is you could have a scenario without any village.
Yeah. Well, no, the trail was. Oh yeah, no, because you don't have the Sea Witch. It looks like it does not matter.
Yep, Abisho looking very good there. So
Yeah.
2.5 to 1.5 in Abisho's favor. Now Willpower player 1.
Lots of trashing here.
Indeed. Apprentice rats potentially, hunting grounds, pile out to watch out for.
I
Pass
think
again.
I think the 5-2 open here is pretty clear. Probably apprentice border guard, maybe apprentice rat catcher, but I feel like I like apprentice border guard. As for the 4-3, I would probably say rope silver, maybe.
The distinction between border guard and rat catcher is not too clear to me, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with either one at this point.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think.
rat catcher and the rats, and they're right next to each other, so job is easy.
Yeah.
But they're in opposing decks right now, so we got to figure that out. Let's see. So quest, there are no attack cards, notably. So the payload probably going to come from Bandit Camp.
Buying a
Yeah,
rope, because they could have afforded a 5 cost, could they not have? I feel like I would want a bandit camp over a rope, although I do want a rope too.
Yeah, I don't know.
The rats also cost more than the rat catcher, so I think we truly know who's winning here.
Right.
Like, yeah, now this is a good time to get a rope. I mean, can't go wrong with 2 ropes anyway, so it's not the biggest deal.
We are seeing the rats versus no rats.
I think they both have rats.
Oh, are we? Oh, yes, they do. I missed that.
Yeah, no worries. Like, I feel like Bandit Camp is basically the best payload here, so I feel like adding a Bandit Camp now seems good. I don't think I would trash any of these cards. Do they even... I don't even know if Abesyo has enough money. Well, they probably do. I don't know if they'll draw enough money with because I think they have 2 rats in there. And a rat catcher. So 2 rats, a rat catcher, and 2 copper. Which
Yeah, that did
this
not work out.
doesn't really work because you have to trash with the rats.
I guess you can quest if you want, if you're desperate. But yeah, that seems like a mistake. Bandit
Yeah.
Camp will at least replenish some of your money. So rats will take it down, but Bandit Camp will at least keep you afloat. Yeah, there's the quest.
Well, the thing is, Bandit Camp will be very good for money once you get a King's Court. And then,
yeah.
you just make 3, make 9 money per turn. And you're like, oh, well, I guess that solves the money issue.
Right. And then I guess you transition when you need to from Apprentice Rats draw to Bandit Camp Hunting Grounds draw with King's Court and then Rope for payload. So it looks like a pretty, at least a build that's somewhat easy to identify.
And I feel like the thing to me is like, you can get the Bandit Camp's also like getting that 3 spoils is probably going to help you get that King's Court. And I think once you do that, your deck can go online basically.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to be trashing coppers here with the rope. I disagree with that play, I think, just because the rats eating stuff up and then the apprentice eating up the rats is where you're getting your payload. So the longer you can keep that afloat, the better.
Yeah,
But
I definitely get that.
It might be fine if you can do hunting ground stuff, but I'd probably want to hold on to coppers unless I trash them with rats.
I feel like so they went for Bandit Camp Rope instead of King's Court, which I feel like is a mistake.
How many ropes does Willpower have now?
They have they have 3 ropes now.
Hmm. I'm guessing they just took a look at their money and there we are trashing coppers again. But thinking that the payload is to the point where 2 buys isn't sufficient, so you want to add the buys first. But I feel like King's Court would have been a nice buy there. King's Court, the bandit camp.
I feel like King's Court adds enough money that like you're fine if you don't have enough buys.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
All right,
oh
another
no,
resign.
yeah, pretty quick resign there. I get it. I don't think I would have resigned then. I do get it though.
Yeah,
And
Abesyo seems to be a player who resigns fairly early, in my experience at least. The few games I played against him were some early resigns, but I once again think that was quite heavily tilted in Willpower's favor.
oh yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, I think that where it went wrong for Abesyo was trashing that silver.
Yeah,
Because in order for that to work, you have to bottom decker rats in order to pick up that bandit camp. And if you don't, you're just set back by 1 or 2 turns trying to get back to 5.
yeah. I think if
They were then in a position where they needed to trash the rope, but that would have set them back further in order to hit 5. So just kind of a disaster.
yeah, I think like if they had the bandit, if they like got the bandit camp there, they probably would have been in a much better position. Like I do think that mistake just kind of like made everything just go bad. I do think it can happen sometimes in this game where just like if you fall below a critical mass of money, you just basically kneecap yourself so hard it's kind of hard to come back.
Right. Right. What do we have here? Looks like potion forager from both sides. So
Makes sense.
going the scribe full conspirator route, I guess.
We also have we could also have horse alley, which is something to look out for because that's like a one-time super lab, but it is quite super.
Right? Yeah. It is like experiment. It is expensive, I suppose. I mean, what's the benefit of having that? I mean, of course, it's nice to draw a few extra cards, but you're you don't really need that much draw. I feel like in the early game, like if it's 4, I'm probably just picking up a conspirator
Yeah.
and going from there. Just because conspirator is going to be such an important card to have down the road, and with tower, I want all the scrying pools, all the conspirators, and I don't know what the other pile is, but I feel like it's kind of a little bit counterproductive
I think my
with
thought
power.
I think my thought is alley at the start. You can go through your cards and like you can play it as an alley, and then later like it can help you find your scrying pools and as Mr. Guy mentions your potions, and then later you can use it for your super experiments. Like I wouldn't necessarily be doing super experiments now, but having those alleys means that you can do it whenever.
But scrying pool games, the later you get, the more reliable your deck typically gets, especially if there's trashing. I
Yeah,
feel like they might not be that much reason to do it later, but who
yeah.
knows?
In any case, it's something that at least looks very appealing.
Yeah. And should be noted that Abesyo's favorite card is Night Watchman and does not fail to pick it up. So we'll see how that
Interesting.
pans out.
I don't hate it on this board.
I remember when I was getting into Dominion, Night Watchman was just the meme terrible card, but a few times recently it's been a really clutch card to just pick up in a situation to trigger a good shuffle or something. So I actually do enjoy some of those edge case uses for it.
Edge case uses for weak cards are just great.
Yeah, I know.
I can never resist a board where Timu looks like somewhat usable.
I just had a game with inherited transmute on ladder recently. That was something.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was quite something. So looks like Abisho has a gear as a terminal, but is the only terminal bot right now, which is interesting. I don't know how I feel about it on this board, but it should be fine because you can, I guess, set a scrying pool aside at the end of turn if you need to,
I
or
think
whatever.
I think having a gear for each turn seems good, especially because you can set aside whatever scrying pools you don't use, which seems good. I think like getting some conspirators and or gold mines might be the play here. Although, well, gold mine seems maybe more for buy. Conspirators probably your payload of choice given tower, and the fact that these decks are not going to be play well with treasures. That said, if you could gold mine 30 times and get 30 golds,
Yeah, on a scrying pool board. But yeah, I believe that there could be a few gold mines bought for the buy. I doubt they're taking gold. I mean, maybe if you're drawing a lot, then sure, but I want to be really going hard on the conspirators.
yeah, I think conspirators are your payload. I think like getting a gold or two might be fine, but I think gold mine is really just a fancy market square
Yeah,
without the reaction.
right. A worse market square.
Yes. It looks like the Night Watchman has served its use.
Yeah, not much for it to be doing at this point.
Yeah.
This is a little bit awkward. Oh, here we
Huh?
go. Galley is gone. Guessing for a conspirator.
A conspirator would make sense. Yeah. So this seems solid. Although, okay, the dungeon will possibly save them, but we might see a situation where you really want to see that alley.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I agree with Mr. Guy here, where it's like it's kind of important to get the conspirator because payload was getting low.
And I don't think alleys will empty too, so exchanging alley for conspirator for tower points also makes sense. See, dungeon over conspirator there, I really dislike.
Yeah,
I mean, dungeon as a card in general, I'm just not a fan of. My hand just gets so small whenever I play with it, and I'm just not a fan.
dungeon's an interesting card. I think it's like start of turn effect is quite good, but
Yeah, yeah, one of
playing
those
it,
durations that just feels so sad to play.
yeah, like on your turn when you play, it's not that great, but the next turn it'll be very nice.
So what is Willpower's plan here? Situation is just a little bit awkward.
Well, they can ban a Misfits conspirator, so that's something.
Right. But then you're gonna cut the same position. Abisho isn't. Oh,
Oh,
forcing them.
just fancy lab, I guess, which I feel like that feels like losing to me. They need money fast.
We have these coppers if we can draw around to them, but that's far from guaranteed. Definitely need to add a conspirator on this turn, I would think.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I think we're at the point where you just kind of need to add conspirators like whenever you can. And
mhm. So this This is nice. You can pick up Pool, Conspirator,
Yeah.
and then just be well ahead.
Yep. Sounds like the plan.
I mean, we could have tried top decking that, but I don't know if that's worth it. I think you're pretty likely to find it with a dungeon draw coming in off the top. This is looking like a nice turn.
Yeah.
Drawing everything.
So they should probably be able... So they... Looks like they'll be fine money-wise here. Yeah, I do wonder about Band of Misfits versus Conspirator, because I do think Band of Misfits gives you some benefits right now. The question is, how long is that going to last for? Because once Conspirator is empty, you would much rather want a Conspirator. And yeah, that makes sense to me. Like, Willpower when they bought the Conspirator was probably more like, you know, a good time to get it. Now, the Band of Misfits. Now, maybe less so.
Bard.
Uh-huh.
I would take a Conspirator here.
Yeah, definitely Conspirator here. Oh, we are...
Oh, another band. Okay. Do they want to empty bands?
I mean, if they both agree to empty bands, then nobody needs to worry about Conspirator being emptied.
Wait. Why get Conspirator for 4 when you can get it for 5? If you Way of the Horse, Band of Misfits, that has pretended to be another card, it acts as a lab and the card gets discarded to come around again. Not sure I understood all that, but Way of Horse, Band of Misfits is indeed strong.
Yes. Should we be trashing Potion here with the Forager?
Right. We might see an undo.
Okay,
There it
yep.
is.
Yeah, so here, what are they gonna have? 10 money and 2 buys. I think. Okay, we, I guess, want the potion for some reason.
Gotta
I don't
make it less powerful for willpower, I guess.
I don't like this.
I doubt it's likely to matter. I mean, if we play this as a Conspirator, I mean, willpower is going to trash it for 2 anyway, so
I think
it will happen.
I think the thing though for me is like I'm now wondering is like, do you want a gold mine for the extra buy here?
Well, I don't think you need one because your Band of Misfits can be a Forager.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like you could do that next time, and that might work to be able to buy 3.
Yeah, I feel like if you Forager 2 things here and take 2 Conspirators, then the next turn you Forager 2 things again. Or I guess you don't need to do it this turn.
You don't
Forager 2 things next turn, 2 things the turn after that. You can do 2 straight turns of taking 3 Conspirators at maximum, and if willpower contests the Conspirators, you just take a gold mine. After that is my preferred line.
Okay, I'm confused now.
I'm incredibly confused.
Silver. Like, if we want gold mine, that's fine. But then we want to trash potion, I feel like. You know? Like this...
feels if there was a mutual agreement to leave Conspirators alone so Band of Misfits can be as powerful as possible.
Like, if you want to do double conspirator there, I think that's fine. You can do 2 foragers next turn, and it'll probably work out. If you want to get gold mine conspirator, that's also fine. Be a bit more safe. This, I just don't understand. We've added no conspirators, and we've added a silver for some reason, which.
Oh, yeah, it will make Forager more powerful for both players. Yeah, we shall see. That's interesting.
Silver just seems like much worse payload than conspirator. Or gold mine, for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 3, it's fine because you can forage it. But it's always interesting because with Forager, it benefits both you and your opponent. So it's not really a net gain for you if a Forager's worth more, because Willpower has more Band of Misfits anyway.
Yeah. And also the other problem with that is, one, there's other 3s I want more than silver, like a second gear. And 2, you could choose to be in a situation where you did not have 3, and in fact had 4 or 5 by trashing the potion. And thusly, it's like, to me, it's like, the 4s seem much better than silver does. Like, it just feels weird to me to pick a situation where you have to buy a 3, so you buy silver instead of conspirator, when conspirator seems just strictly better than silver in so many ways on this board.
And you could have gotten out of that situation too by just trashing the potion too on that last turn.
Exactly.
You didn't have to have 3 there if you really wanted the gold mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not quite sure where the logic was, or what the logic was on that.
Yeah, agreed. Like, I think the one thing is, like, if you got a gear, that would be, like, solid for reliability, because you can just save all these scrying pools, and that's something. But, I don't know, there's, like, it's gonna work out okay right now, but how long that will be okay for, I do not know.
Well, it's okay, but it's not great is the thing. It's a passive move because
Yeah.
the alternative is you take 2 conspirators, you're in a position to threaten taking 3 conspirators for the next 2 turns.
Yeah.
That would rob Willpower's many Band of Misfits while giving you the edge on the tower points. So I just don't quite understand. Okay, I guess we're emptying bands. That's the thing.
Like, and for what it's worth, I completely agree with you. I'm just saying, like, I feel like it's the badness of it is going to be more likely to show up later than right now, I guess is what I was trying to say. When, we're looking at the tower points and you're like, oh, well, silver, that sure didn't empty.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, now it sure looks like Band of Misfits is going to empty. So I don't know. I anticipate Band of Misfits emptying, and then they just go for provinces, which is not how I anticipated this going, but it seems like that's the direction we're going in. And if that's the case, I think Willpower might have a slight edge, just because of how many Band of Misfits he has and all of the options available.
Yeah. I mean, my thought is you empty Band of Misfits, then you just buy a bunch of conspirators anyway, because it's still money. I guess,
Right.
Play the edge between province and conspirator. But, like, conspirators, like, adding 2 conspirators is adding 4 money to your deck, so.
Wow, we're playing a bard instead of a forager here.
I think a forager was kind of necessary, unless the plan is Band of Misfits province, which to me feels like a bad plan.
Plan was to get the forest gift there, I think.
That also seems like a bad plan.
So yeah, gold mine seems necessary for willpower here. Now after that play, I don't even know who's ahead anymore. I'm not quite sure where each player is going right
Yeah.
now. Yeah, see, province. I said I was feeling province. I knew it would happen.
I mean, once they decided to not go with the second Forager play, it did feel very provincy.
Here we go. Scrying pool money. Essex energy. So Abisho does have a little bit less junk. Is able to manage deck better. Should have a big turn here.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't think being able to manage junk here is like. I feel like these decks should not be dudding very much, and like one dud probably kills you anyway.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like theoretically, it should be fine for for willpower. You don't need to be the most clean here. It's just I don't know how well this works out overall.
On Willpower's last turn, they had the opportunity to play the Band of Misfits as a forager, hit 14 with 3 buys. So the way this game state's going, you take 2 bands and a conspirator, and you're probably okay
Yeah.
if that's the way this game is going. But now the province really puts you in a weakened position because Abisho has much more payload and can respond much more easily to provinces. I feel like because Willpower doesn't even have a gold mine,
Yeah.
so there's no way to really infuse that payload. So if this is the direction the game's going, it looks like Abisho has a clear advantage.
That makes sense to me, yeah. I just feel like we could build so much more here,
Right.
and we decide not to.
Yeah, Tower's kind of fun because it incentivizes that really build big engines and not
Yeah.
be punished for it because you can easily catch up to provinces if you need to, but also you're just scoring by building, so there's really no reason to pivot unless you're desperate.
I also think the other thing about this board is that your building, like your things that get tower points, are cards that read 2 money. Get two
Right.
money plus
Right.
action plus card, which is good.
Yeah, and Willpower almost dudding there.
Yeah,
It's pretty incredible.
it got close, but again, like I just think there's so much. Scrying pool is so like powerful. You kind of have to get pretty unlucky to dud here at this point. I feel like is
Right.
my
Just
thought.
trust. Almost does and then draws 9 cards. That's the
Yeah.
nature of Scrying Pool.
And like I think the alley helps, and the dungeon will help if they play this dungeon, which they should make sure that they play the dungeon before. Actually, I don't know. There's so many like they just need to play at some point this turn. They have 3 scrying pools. It's fine.
So the payload here is looking like 2 Band of Misfits for Conspirator at least. So that's 8 plus 400 trash copper, I'm guessing. So 10, 13 plus 1 more Band of Misfit play. So it could be just Province Band, which feels terrible. It could be, I mean, you could trash the Wisp if you need to go Province or Band, Goldmine, Conspirator, which seems a lot better.
You could trash the West do ban. Oh, yeah, I don't know how much money they'll have with all this, but I think playing 2 foragers makes sense.
I think you have to. Okay, I guess we're not.
Oh, are we doing double province?
I hope not.
We could be doing double province here.
Double provinces, and we don't even top deck the pool. Double province is losing in so many ways.
I don't know if it is losing, but I think like
Yeah, we're doing it.
We are doing double province. I understand the idea here.
What is the idea? I don't. I don't understand it.
I think the idea is a naive hope that Abesyo will do 2 provinces, and then you can do 2 provinces and win. But
there is no way Abesyo's doing that. Abesyo made it to top 8 in the championship. They're not making that mistake.
Yeah, I think it's just... But I think the problem is WillPower's deck is kind of, like, kneecapped by that earlier province. That, like... Yeah, this is not winning, but, like, I don't know how much, like, building more will necessarily help their deck at this point. Like, it probably does, but they need to, like, do another Forager, I guess. Or, I guess more rather my thought is that Province Band of Misfits is not that much better than just... Well, not even necessarily better than Double Province. You kind of really wanted, like, more cards than, you know, just 2.
I mean, as Abesyo, you can easily just do Province Duchy and then add a band or something and just triple next turn. There's no pressure.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Triple seems terrible.
Good at ending the game quickly. Of course, we could, you know, trash silver and gold and make the foragers worth 4 and give WillPower the win that way too.
I mean, what? I'm just trying to think. Like, would there be a way to quad if you just super powered the foragers? I'm guessing no, but
I don't think you have enough stuff to trash. But
the fun thing is you could trash province.
Right, but you also have to trash your silvers and golds, and by that point, I just don't think you have enough stuff left.
Oh yeah, I agree. I was just like wondering.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, wondering where that was at. So yeah, this feels pretty. Yeah.
In the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think you can just do a very simple, like. Actually, I don't even know if you want to buy province here. I wonder if WillPower has some way. Well, they don't have any silvers or gold, so probably not. Actually.
They need to get that bard boon that says gain a province.
Yeah, I think so. Like, elusive. Province banned 2 conspirators, and then you're just kind of like, okay, well, what can they do?
Yeah, I like province duchy. I don't think you need 2 duchies, but it's once again everything's winning here as long as you don't take more than 1 province. You just take another band.
Yeah.
Call it good. You'll be just fine. Right, Band of Misfits is worth 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
So you certainly want to take that.
Yeah, definitely. It's also just like, I think here, it's just like, you're prepared to be able to get a whole bunch of, like, cards the next turn. It's pretty fine.
There's no way to triple here. Forager can't activate.
The other
Forager could, then there might be a chance, but
the other thing I was just thinking is, like, if you could have gotten more Band of Misfits, you also could have threatened piling out estates, which seems like it could have been a good play, but We're
would have needed
obviously
6. So
yeah, which Abesyo has 6 Band of Misfits.
right.
But the thing is, like, if they'd done that earlier, they could have won the Band of Misfits split, and then been in the driver's seat to possibly estate pile out and win, instead of getting a province.
Right, yeah. It's a good point. You can, if you control the band of misfits, and if you need to pick up an extra forager, you can whittle down the conspirators a little bit while keeping the pressure on.
Yeah. Double and
Now this
Prey
is
is
over.
definitely the best line. It's bad, but it's pretty much about all you can do. And yeah, this
I
is
think,
over.
yeah, you could have gone for gold mine, silver, or something just so you can charge your foragers next turn and threaten triple, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Abisho could have tripled easily anyway, so.
Yeah. I think basically Double and Prey was pretty much the only line you could do, and it was just basically over.
Yep.
But-
So, nice match from Abisho, winning 3.5 to 2.5.
Yep. It was pretty interesting, fun games there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, and thank you all for listening.
See ya.
Yep. See you all